To piggyback that too, if you ask them up front, are you prepared to adjust your price when working with buyers, and then get that price reduction up front, you can negotiate your fee into that above and beyond so that it's a smaller gap. But the objection that I want to bring up is that my house was on the market, I'm expired, and my agent told me to wait till springtime so the market's improving.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Your agent told you to wait till springtime to sell.
Yeah, I mean, we had some traffic, but it wasn't a lot, and you know, the market's just not that great right now.
Well, let's say this, Justin. Kudos to you for being on the market, because you were on a tough time of the year. I mean, you got on end of spring into summer, and now we're in fall, and you're like most of the people in New England who have always thought the same mindset, which was put it on in spring later because the market is probably worth more. Are you aware of what's happening now with the market?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's less homes, I get that.
Yeah, there's a lot less homes, and so what that means for you is it's a lot easier to sell your home based on 10 or 12 people that you're competing against versus going on in springtime when everybody puts the home on the market and you're competing with 15 or 20. And I'm assuming you say spring, so you're thinking sometime between March and April? That sound about right?
Yeah, probably like February, getting before the spring market.
Good for you, okay. So you'd be on in February and then you compete in February, March, and April.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously want the most money in my pocket, but I don't want to move in the wintertime either.
Right, so if we got your top dollar, would you move? By the way, are you moving stuff yourself or are you hiring movers?
We're going to hire movers.
All right, so it's not too tough to move, is it?
Touche.
Well, Justin,
But what about the kids?
Absolutely, kids come first, and they can help move if they want. No, I'm just The reality is, Justin, if you're thinking of going in March and April, it's the two biggest months for inventory. You know what are also the two biggest months for?
What?
Declining prices. You know why?
Is there more houses?
Exactly. So if you knew, Justin, if you knew you were confident you can make more money selling now rather than waiting until spring, would you sell the home for the most money now?
Yeah, but Forbes said that the market's, you know, improving. It should increase about 6 to 10% by February.
You know, we're all hoping it does that, and it'd be nice if it does, but if we can get you sold now for top dollar in fall, and you can buy in winter at bottom prices, is that better?
Yeah, now that makes sense.
That's
what I was waiting for.
All right,
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Bennett Forrest, Keller Williams, Greater Hartford. One objection I get when I'm prospecting FSBOs is they'll say, for $250 I can put it on the MLS. So how do you handle that objection? When someone says, well, you know, when I say, you know, putting it on the MLS gets you more eyes on your property, and they'll say, well, I can pay $250 and get it on, and have the same amount of people see it.
Well, I would disagree that the same amount of people see it, but for $250, what other services are you getting as far as negotiating?
Well, I work from home, and so I can be there for showings, and I have an attorney who can look over the contracts.
Are you familiar with what we do to get so many properties sold?
Yeah, I mean, basically you put it on the MLS, and, you know, Zillow and a couple of these other sites, and throw, you know, some good pictures up there.
It's far beyond that, and I would love to sit down with you at 5 o'clock this evening to show you and also see your property. Does that sound good?
Maybe. I mean, give me an example of what you would do other than what I just mentioned.
So our team goes door to door knocks the entire neighborhood as well as surrounding areas. We prospect a database of about 5,000 buyers every day. We have 5 buyers agents that are calling nonstop to find you know, buyers for properties just like yours. You know, I don't think that you get that with the $250 MLS entry, do you?
Yeah, that's true, but like I said, I mean, my understanding is that, you know, I've worked with agents as a buyer before, and basically, you know, they always tell me that they have the same access to every listing that's listed by an agent in the state is on the MLS, so everyone's going to see it.
Right. And how long will you sit and wait for your property to just sit there on the MLS?
I mean, it depends. I mean, like I said, I mean, if it's priced right, I think that it'll sell because, again, everybody who's out there looking is going to see it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. How did you come up with your price?
I just looked at some comps in the neighborhood.
Sure. Well, I'd love to stop by and make sure that your house is priced properly, and then I can show you also what we do to get so many properties sold, the things that we go above and beyond, not just putting it into the MLS. Do you have some time at 5 tonight, or would 6 be better?
Well, maybe. I mean, but, you know, I mean, I live in a neighborhood with a lot of very similar houses, so, you know, similar square footage bedrooms, you know, they've all sold within a $10,000 range.
Sure, I can appreciate that. Where are you moving to when the property does sell?
Moving to a bigger house.
Well, great, and why is that important to you? Family's growing?
Yeah, I don't have enough room. I got a couple kids, so we're looking to get a bigger place.
How soon do you need to be there? I know school's just started.
A lot of it has to do with when how much I get from my house.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being that you're very motivated, how motivated are you right now to sell your home?
Just 7 or 8.
Okay, what would that make, what would it do to make you an 8 or a 9?
If I got the price I wanted for my house.
Oh, of course, right? And how about a 10?
If I sold it tomorrow.
Perfect, well, I'd love to be the agent that sells it tomorrow, so how about we stop over at 5 or 6 o'clock tonight and I can show you how I'll get it done.
That sounds good.
Great,
All right,
thank you.
awesome. Good job. Thank you, and you are our last.
I am
Thank
Deb
you.
Bailey from the Easton office, and I have a scenario for you regarding expireds. So I have an expired property, and you've come in and given me your CMA. We've already sat down and talked, and I've had another company come in. And the other company has come in, and actually they're telling me my house is worth $10,000 more than you're telling me, and he'll do it for 3%. Why should I go with you?
Well, actually, I think you should take the listing, and then I'm going to call you when it expires and it doesn't sell.
But you know what? When it expired, it was with Keller Williams.
Oh, okay. Well, I can certainly appreciate that. Well, let's do this. Did we already go through the presentation?
Yes, you have.
Okay, so I showed you everything that I do for marketing.
But so did your other Keller Williams agent when they put it on the market before.
So that other Keller Williams agent had an 87-point marketing plan as well?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know. They told me that they were the best in the business and that they were going to sell that home at that price. But my next door neighbor, Trudy, used John Doe Realty at 3%, and he sold her home.
All right, so let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up John Doe statistics. I'm going to pull up my statistics and your last Keller Williams agent statistics. And if you could see that I sold more homes than both of them and actually got you a higher percentage of asking price. In other words, I got you 99% for all my last sellers as opposed to the MLS average of 98. Do you think that would put more money in your pocket?
Well, I'm still concerned that your price didn't come in at the same as John Doe Realty.
Oh, so you're concerned about the 10,000? Oh, well, at that point, we could just price it 10,000 above, and I'll do all the marketing that I do for you at that point, and I'll sell the property.
But why did you come in lower?
Well, do you know what fair market value is? We kind of walked over the first slide, which kind of explained it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not an exact science. What fair market value is actually what a willing and able buyer is willing to pay for your property, and what you're willing to accept. So there's no way to actually know exactly what your home's going to sell for until it sells. Is that true?
I suppose that's true.
Right, so if he says 10 grand over, your last agent said 10 grand over, and I'm in the middle, who do you think is exactly right on exactly what your property is going to sell for?
I don't know. I'm just so disappointed at this point in time. I really think my home should have sold.
Yeah, and I really think your home should have sold too. That's why I'm going to make sure that happens the second time around. Because the last thing you really want is for your property to expire twice. So let's do this. I'm going to send you the paperwork and you just sign it, and I'm going to list that property and sell it for
But
you.
you know, John Doe has been in the business for 25 years, and he has a good reputation in my neighborhood. I'm still a little leery about going with you guys.
Wow, so he has a great reputation in your neighborhood? That's excellent. So let me ask you this question. What's more important, a good reputation or what you put in your pocket?
Definitely what I'm putting in my pocket.
All right, and that's exactly why we need to get together, put this property on the market right away so I can actually put the most money in your pocket possible.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Good job. It's interesting because we all call every single day, and I think we can figure out, if we understand people's motivations, then we can usually help them achieve their goals. And it really just comes down for me is just asking good questions. Just keep asking questions, and I think all of you guys would agree with me on that, right? There was somebody though that did ask me, we have a few, well, you know what we're going to do is we're just going to end so we can end on time, we'll be in integrity. So what I'd like to do is, in 45 seconds each, give us your one thing. I mean, if someone said, Deric, what's the one thing that I need to do to be bringing my scripts and prospecting business to the next level, what would be your answer?
Practice and role play. And get a coach if you can. Yeah, coaching is, someone's already pioneered the path, he's just got to show you how to get through the woods, you know. And just got to role play and just got to practice. So it comes down to lots of, and get curiosity, man. Like when I was doing this, I wanted to know how to do a different listing presentation. I wanted to do different objections. I looked at different books. I Googled it. Like I Googled everything. I was like, hey, listing presentation. Is this a bunch of stuff comes up? So just getting curiosity and getting wonder, and you start seeing stuff. And the nice part is when you start at the next level, you start making up your own scripts. A lot of stuff you guys heard me use today were blends of other people. A lot of it was my own scripts that I made up on my own that worked for me. So you got to feel comfortable with it.
You mastered the scripts first, though, before you started making
you have to master scripts first, and then once you get to that first level of mastering it, you get to the second level, which is creating your own, and the next level is teaching it, right?
Absolutely. Because I think a lot of us, what we want to do is we say, well, the scripts, that doesn't really sound like me, so we go off and we kind of create our own scripts that don't work. So first take what works, right? It's about internalize, memorize, internalize, then customize. What do we all do? Customize, right? First thing, customize. So thanks for sharing. That's a great point. Jeff.
Obviously, to reiterate that, practice, but also watch Deric's YouTube videos. He didn't say that. They're awesome. You just need to see it, hear a visual auditory. I mean, you gotta do it more often. I would also say be persistent. Everybody's calling at that 8 o'clock, 8:39. Call again later in the afternoon if you don't catch them. Just keep going until you get it. Maybe you don't leave a message the second time around, but they see that number pop up. I've seen more often than not, people will call back. Someone just called me from this number. Well, hey, go from there.
Great. And both of them have said practice, and I want to share 2 quotes with you. These are the themes we use on my team. The first one's from the Navy SEALs. It's the more we sweat in practice, the less we bleed in war. You get that? The more we sweat and practice, the less we bleed in war. That's why we give ourselves 5 or 6 objections when we're role playing. We're tough, we're difficult. Our role plays are probably tougher than the phone calls we make. And they're designed that way. And then the other one is for people that don't really like that quote because it's, too tough. Arnold Palmer says, the more I practice, the luckier I get. You get that? The more I practice, the luckier I get. So I would ask all of you to take one of those and bring that home with you and implement that. Because it's all about practice. And if you could just wrap it up for us, Art?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for me, it's just be as consistent as you can. Regenerate every day, even if it means starting with 1 call a day, because you can just build that habit over time. And everybody has a bad day, even I do now, so when that happens, you do just pick up the phone the next day and just keep going. And once you do it long enough and consistent enough, you're going to come to a point where it's going to feel awkward not to do it, and that's really what you're trying to get to.
Awesome. Rock and roll. Thank you.